Guys, today I am going to show you a beautiful game played by me on this Lichess because chess.com account is not working, so I am consistently playing on Lichess. This is my dummy account. I am playing with a dummy account. You can see here 2200 rating of blitz and 1998 of rapid. Here my opponent was a 2214 rated player. He was not normal. Normally 2200 on chess.com are easy to beat than compared to Lichess. Let's look his ID first. His bullet rating is 1960 with 5261 games. He achieved 2240 rating with 31,174 games and a rapid rating of with only 111 games, you can see here. So also classical rating with only 50 games of 2260 means he's a great player. And you can see his blitz stats. His peak rating was something around 2333 and here 37 means he is 2337 rated player, not really 2200. Now I am going to show you the game that we played versus one another, and at last I am also going to show you this proof of the game that we played together. You can also see here if you are a Lichess player. Let's start with it. I was with white pieces and FrancisSalmon with black pieces. I started the game off with e4. He defended it with Caro-Kann defense, which is the c6 move. I played d4, d5. This is the Caro-Kann defense, d4 d5 variation. And now we transpose this game into the Caro-Kann defense exchange variation. And after this move, I played knight to f3, defending my pawn. He played knight to f6, which is the Caro-Kann defense exchange variation, c takes d5, knight f3 and knight f6 variation. Now there is knight to c3, attacking his pawn. He defended with bishop to g4, pinning my knight to my queen so that I cannot defend my d4 pawn, but there's my queen to defend this. So without any fear, I played bishop to e2. Now he took my knight, and after this I am double attacking his pawn like this, and with some additional attack of queen like this, I can really triple attack this. But this was not in my mind. In my mind there was something to create more attacks by first castling and then creating more attacks and threats to our opponent. Let's look how I did it. e6, castle, bishop to e7, knight goes on e3. This move I think was the key moment where I started off thinking an attack, because this middle pawn is not so well defended and there is no any pawn on e file to defend this. So I first played knight to e2 to defend this pawn, and then also go for e3. Also in future I can put this knight on f4 and g3 squares. So, and after some developing moves like this, I have finally developed my bishop also. Now he played h6 and his motive was to go g5, but that was not successful because he didn't play it in the game. Rook goes on e1, and this is a dumb move as per chess engine, because first I thought that I will play knight to c1 after rook to e1, but the move order was wrong. I will give you, because move order matters a lot. This is only the tip. The correct order was first to play knight to c1 and then rook to e1, but I was miscalculated and played first rook e1. And now then I was thinking to prepare knight to c1 to open this e file fully. So he asked for a trade and I developed with my queen. This is a good move, not so bad, because I thought, why to release the tension? If he takes, I can really take, and if he attacks, it's just more easy to go back, or also we can also come back like this, also attack some pieces, and yes, my knight was more secure here. But my opponent took bishop on f4. I recaptured. Now this queen attacked my knight. So what to do now? I just simply defended with my queen. Queen goes on d2. Knight goes on a5, b3, b6 and g3. This pawn move was played to defend this knight, and in future I can retreat this knight somewhere like this on good squares. He played rook to c1, and now he is trying to create an attack like this and attack my weak pawn, but I was decided with it. When he will start attack, I will defend it. So now I started an attack on this king side like this. Now he is doubling up the rook, but I don't care because I am busy in attacking now, and once he creates his full attack, I will defend. You can see now he is created with his attack, and now I will defend with my rook. This is the beauty of game. Let your opponent attack and then defend, because this attack is not a strong attack. You will say opponent is creating a mating pattern and you are saying just get defense. No, I am not saying a checkmate attack. I am just saying a small attacks like these. This will help you to gain more tempos and develop your remaining pieces and gain more space. Queen goes on a2. That's not much more important because this pawn is well defended, and when you will go this pawn to b5 and b4, it's very easy to me to take because my rooks are well defended like these. And in future my plan was to retreat my knight on e2 so that I can defend my c1 rook very perfectly. So f3 move, and now he is now starting with the attack of this pawn to go on this b4 square and ask for some trade like this. But instead of going on e2, now I remembered that going on e2 will block my rook's vision, so I went on d3. Now queen went back, creating some threats on this my pawn like this. Also this pawn was not defended, so instead of playing a passive move like defending this pawn with king, I played g4, which is a developing move as well as creating an attack. Here, while the chess.com is saying this is an inaccuracy, I will show you this move changed the game, because starting off this attack led my opponent to a checkmate. Let's look in the further game. And after this trade, this knight has to somewhere go, so he went on h5. I played f4, and after he defends his knight, I attack him with my bishop going on f3 like this. He went on g3, which was a mistake, and his plan was to come here and then go back again on f5. I went on f2 attacking his knight, and he again retreated his knight on f5. But the best was to go on this e4 square, but I'm still keeping attack, and after finally he pushed his pawn forward like this to attack my pawn. Guess what I have played here? Yes, I just simply took this pawn because I don't care. You are not attacking my rook at all, and if you take like this, it would lead in a big blunder because knight takes d4 is a good chance, because now if you take like this, I can take. If rook takes back, what I have is a beautiful bishop takes f5, not really taking this rook because our knight will be captured, and once they take back with g5, now what do we do? Yes, now we play queen takes c1. This is the beauty of game, and once they take, we are all well defended, and with these moves we can defend our position well. let us look what was happened in the game. In the game my opponent took this d4 pawn, also creating some threats and attacking weak squares on my board, but I played the best move in this position, rook to c5, because if you take, I can really take back here with my pawn attacking this queen. Once the queen moves back like this, somewhere on c5, what we can play is simple queen to a5. This is saying an inaccuracy, but this is the best move. And now let us look what was happened in the game after this. He went on queen b6, still keeping an attack and these two rooks, but this was an inaccuracy. Let us look why. Now I can play rook to h1 attacking this king, and this is an open file, and as I said you earlier, this h6 pawn push was a bad threat, and as it was a bad signal, it led him to lose a full game. As you can see in the upcoming moves, I managed my king to push on this first rank and tried to checkmate this black king, but he was understood with the plan and played king to f8, which was another big blunder. Let us look why. Now I can play queen to c3, which was the best move from this position, attacking this knight, and also you cannot take this rook at all, and this knight is totally trapped. If you go here like this, again there's a mate in 3 from this position. Can you spot it? Yes, it starts off with rook to h8 check. King cannot go on this g7 square as it is covered with our queen. King is now forced to go on this square. Now we have queen to f6 check, and once the king goes here, we have knight to e5, a checkmate like this. So knight can't move back, otherwise it will lead in a checkmate like this. So what he can do now? He can attack our queen while defending his knight. But yes, what do we have next? We will play queen to e1 and then now try to attack. And also, if you don't move your knights, if you take after this move, if you take like this, I can just take back, and it's an all equal game. You cannot take it with any of these pieces because our knight is defending it. And once you move somewhere, let us say here, again that's an inaccuracy. And after this king mistake, I finally decided to move my queen on f2 and then go on h4 to attack something. But in the game, c3 was the best move as I discussed earlier. And after this king blunder, I also did a blunder because queen c3 was the best move from this position. Again my opponent blundered the knight. This knight being on this square defends this rook, and now he will lose a rook in the following manner. After this check, king moves and I take the rook. This rook has two choices, either to take this rook or to take this rook. In both ways he loses. If he take this rook, which happened in the game, I will just simply take, and if he takes this c5 rook, I will just simply take with my pawn. My rook has no attack, and also this knight is in danger. This queen is also being attacked from now. So let us look what was happening in the game. And now after I take, my opponent made a brutal mistake of sacrificing his knight without any reason. I took it. Now opponent made another blunder, and after this check, he made the final blunder, which was king to d6, which was a mate in 1. And now let's look towards the proof. You can see here, this was the same game. You can see these all the moves are same. The rook exchange, the knight sacrifice for no reason, and the game ends here. So this was in this video. If you have liked this, please subscribe to our channel. If you have a dedication towards chess, this channel is best for you to improve at chess and learn some life lessons from this game.